Once again, it's time for, you guessed it, it's Badger Mailbag, where we the Badgers answer some of the numerous letters that you've sent us. The second half of this broadcast will be doing call-ins, where you, the viewer, can call in and tell us what's on your mind. So, join us now as we go for Badger Mailbag. So, welcome to Honey Badger Radio. We've got a lot of wonderful things to talk about and lots of wonderful people here. I'm joined by my fellow panelists here. We've got Allison Tiemann.
Hello. I'm Allison Tiemann. This is my brainchild. I do Xenospora, an adult webcomic. Tonight's show is going to be pretty crazy. It's going to be quite the roller coaster ride of insanity, because halfway through we're going to be moving over to Blog Talk to be able to give you the option to call in. If you do want to call in, the number, and you won't be working now, but it'll be working at about in about an hour. It will be 1-347-215-8746. And if you want to listen to us on Blog Talk, the link to the Blog Talk show is in the low bar. So if you're at the YouTube, well, you obviously are at the YouTube channel at the moment if you're listening live, go and click that link and get Blog Talk set up and ready, so you can participate in the return of the call-in show. All right,
yes, the return. We've also got, after a bit of a break, we've got Karen Strawn. Hey, Karen.
Hi. It wasn't really a break. I was AWOL. I was out of commission. It was a disaster. It was many disasters befalling me all at once. But I am sufficiently recovered, and my ribs are all healed, and things have calmed down on the family front. So I'm back.
What happened to your ribs?
Sorry?
What happened to your ribs?
Oh yeah, no.
She was fighting a polar bear. That's what happened.
Dog stairs, fractured ribs. So yeah.
Okay.
Did you actually fractured your ribs?
I did. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It was 2.5 weeks before I could sleep on that side again, and it was about 2 weeks before it didn't hurt to breathe.
See, Karen showed up. What's your excuse for the rest of you out there?
I feel better now. I'm going back to work next week. So, but yeah, I took like about 3 weeks off work. So
yeah, we've also.
So you're no longer dead to us.
Yeah,
you're slightly worse for the wear, but you're alive again.
Well, I mean, I've broken my ribs before, so I mean, it's not really that huge. Like I think it was like a hairline thing. It wasn't really like a massive thing. So.
You know what? I think we're sort of stepping all over Rachel and.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I actually wanted to make sure that she was okay. We've also got the.
I would let you know if I wasn't okay. Anyhow, carry on.
All right. Thank you for that. We've got the lovely Hannah Wallen, as always.
Hello. How are you?
Who are you asking that to?
Actually, everybody, but. Besides what we know about Karen's ribs, which that really sucks to have happen to you.
I'm doing well, but there's like a couple hundred people who can answer that question, technically.
Yeah, nobody in the chat's actually said anything either. But yeah, I'm glad to be here anyway.
Well, we've also got Anna Cherry.
Hooray! Thank you for having me. I'm a cosplayer, adult entertainer, and I do YouTube videos when I have the time, and write things occasionally.
Awesome. And we've got our resident evil panda, Mike.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here, being snowball, mixing the colours, watching the smoke. You know.
Oh God. Oh God. Well, we love having you here, Mike. All right.
Yeah, you always keep it unreal.
And as always, I am your host, Rachel Edwards, and you can find the stuff that I do in the appropriate links that are likely below this video. So we'll carry on, and we can move into news items. Would you like to do that? Get those out of the way.
I think it would be appropriate.
Okay.
I mean, even if I didn't want to, I think that right now that would be the thing to do.
That'll be the thing to do. All right. So, oh God, it's time to unleash the stupid in our wonderful show notes, or our wonderful news for this week. Boycott of Christina Hoff Sommers' talk at UCLA. Yesterday, on March 4th, 2015, Christina Hoff Sommers gave a talk at UCLA Law on the topic of feminism as a part of a larger event called Freedom Feminism, the Best Way Forward in the Gender Wars. As expected, the feminists on the campus were less than enthused. One particular group, the Law Women of UCLA event, sent in a letter stating that they would be boycotting the event because Sommers would be speaking. Their specific grievances were that she denied the existence of rape culture, supported Gamergate, and wrote an article for A Voice for Men in January of 2014. In reality, this was a story she wrote for Time magazine, which was reprinted by AVFM. They stated that AVFM was basically a hate group, that Gamergate was a harassment campaign, and that rape culture was in no way mere campus hysteria. Their evidence for this are the same empty claims as always. They use the claims by the SPLC, the news stories on Anita Sarkeesian, AVFM's new White Ribbon campaign, etc. But the truly scary thing is that these are not merely gender studies radicals. This is a law school molding students into lawyers and other members of the judicial system. Fortunately, Dr. Sommers was able to give her talk without trouble, and the opposition posed no threat. She also spoke out on Twitter against the demonization of that early feminism said far more radical things, citing the Scum Manifesto. Base mom is based.
Well,
So,
okay. At least the protests, well, I guess maybe some sanity leaked into their brains before they started to protest.
Well, in protest, one of the things that was up around the campus was, I don't know if there was a formal protest. I think there was, but it was very minor. And there was a couple things that were posted up around campus, trying to mock her or something.
Yeah.
But the letter that they sent in was just talking about how she is part of a hate group and how she is aiding the MRAs, the MRA problem, and the Gamergate harassers. It was really interesting stuff. The letter that they sent in, I think. I don't know who they sent it into, but she had a copy of it that she linked to.
I just find it really interesting the more and more the language that they use, right? She denies the existence of rape culture. Denies the existence of rape culture, right? Rape culture is a completely ephemeral sort of set of ideas about how society works, right? It's not science. It's not evolution, which we can actually see. We've demonstrated it in mayflies and moths and all kinds of other things, natural selection leading to, mutations leading to new species, all of those things. We've seen that, right? It's denying the existence of some kind of set of ideas and concepts about people's motivations and how society feels about things, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense to take offense to that. I mean, it's like you're a heretic. You deny that Yahweh is the one true God, right? Or you deny that Muhammad is the one true God. You're a denier, right? Like, it really, really, or they'll call them a denialist, a rape culture denialist. It really is getting like so freaking, like, they don't even hide their dogmatism anymore. It's just absolutely bizarre to me.
Yeah, Hannah, go ahead, jump in. Unless you've
No, my mute button was, of course, decides to act up when I get a chance to talk every single time.
it's not us, guys. It's Google, because Google, when you mute and unmute in Google, it's sort of a crapshoot.
Well, and like I updated my computer. I did everything I could possibly do to make things work more smoothly, and it's just the goddamn thing's possessed. But no, the denier thing. I wanted to say something about that because that gets used by various groups of people in debate, and it's so effective because people don't want to be called, don't want to be accused of being a flat Earth theorist. Oh, everybody has accepted this, and everybody believes it because we already all know it's true. You're a denialist, and it's really just a sneaky way of begging the question into your claims, into your attack, without actually meriting it.
Well,
You
I
have
was
to
just
prove
gonna
your
I was
thing.
gonna mention also. I mean, there's something called astroturfing that
Yeah.
happens that really really sets the stage for that kind of rhetoric, and it really does make people think that they're, like literally, when I go out in the world, I feel like there was this picture that I saw once of there were like this guy running and the cops were chasing him and all the people were pointing at him and yelling, right? And there were signs everywhere that said 2 + 2 = 5, and he was carrying a banner that said 2 + 2 = 4. Right. Go ahead, Hannah. I just wanted to interject that one thing that with the astroturfing that you can convince people of stuff like that.
Oh, actually, I wanted to just read a portion of this for a
Okay, I'm back.
moment.
Sorry
Nothing.
about that. When you
Oh,
muted
okay,
me,
sorry.
it totally. I know we're echoing
Sorry
and
about
I
that.
had it muted, but I feel like clicking the freaking thing for like a minute.
Okay, people, the echo and the muting problem is probably something on Google's end because it's lagging, it's echoing, and nothing else. Nothing has changed about our setup. Nothing has changed about the microphones we're using, or the headphones, or the dedicated computer that I use to host the call. So I'm thinking that Google is doing something. Not in a conspiracy sense, but maybe just, I don't know. They're updating something. So go ahead, Hannah.
What I basically wanted to say is that this is just it's a prime example of how feminists use creative framing to control the discussion. They start their discussion or their claims or their assertions or whatever from the point of view where certain things that they want you to just accept as fact are presumed, so that when they put you on the defensive, you're defending against a whole slew of things and not just the overt assertion. You're defending against the presumptions, or worse, you're accepting the things that they presumed, and defending against something that you really shouldn't have to be defending against, because the things they've assumed prior to that are not proved, and you should be calling them out on those.
Rachel, get in there.
Yes, I'm getting in here. I'm getting in here. My mute button was weird. Anyway, I wanted to read a little bit of this for you for a moment because I thought this was kind of funny.
Could I interject if I have a point directly following Hannah's? Or are you breaking the train, or are we coming back to this?
Just take it away, Cherry, for a sec.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of disagree, but also want to point out that is exactly what they do. Or what people do when they're trying to convince you of an argument by using what I call black magic with the words of implying things. And there's this and guilt. They use guilt and other emotional tactics to make you back down. But there's this implication that rape culture is real, that it's a thing. But exactly as Karen pointed out, it's not even a theory, it's just a cultural perspective of a minority that has yet to live up to evidence, and we keep finding evidence against it. But when they frame it like they do, in a sense that this is reality and you're a terrible person if you disagree with it, that's how they're able to slip past any reason or any notion of reasonability or logic and kind of get their claws in and drive a dogma that's not real.
Thank you, Sharon. All right. There's a few parts of this. Just an excerpt here. This is fun. Dr. Summers' association with A Voice for Men is appalling, particularly for any person who cares about ending the phenomenon of domestic violence. Their actions with the respect to the White Ribbon Campaign, an international movement working to end violence against women and girls to promote gender equality and healthy relationships, are illustrative of their contempt for female victims of domestic violence. In response to this campaign, A Voice for Men created a copycat website in order to confuse people searching for the actual White Ribbon Campaign and to channel funds into their own organization. This website includes an article that makes the following abhorrent statement about the nature of domestic violence. It just goes on about it's really stupid shit. But basically, they also go on to mention Anita Sarkeesian on MSNBC. It's like further. It talks about Anita Sarkeesian having to cancel her speech at Utah State University. Like their claims are really stupid. And I think, to my knowledge, Christina Hoff Sommers is not really associated with us in the least bit, to be honest. You know.
Well, no, she's definitely not associated with us.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
yeah.
I've never spoken with her, and I don't think any of the people that we know of at ADFM have.
I mean, come on, give her a break. She's not a space leper like us. You know,
yeah, she
doesn't have our leprosy.
She hasn't associated with us.
She's not tainted by our appallingness. So give her a break.
When will Senpai notice us? I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think Karen's next. Karen, did you want to say something, or are you struggling with the mute? There you go.
I don't know. I just think that essentially they really don't like anybody questioning anything, and somebody with Dr. Summers' credentials, they're not going to put up with that. But one of the things that I think, because it was a law school and these were law students, they probably kept their protest very, very quiet and very, very respectful because they have careers to think about, right? And maybe they don't realize that you can actually you can perpetrate a rape hoax on a campus and then end up being a partner in a law firm in New Orleans, passing the ethics exam on the bar, right? You can do that. So
yeah. I just wanted to say I think it's really pitiful that they're making this argument to begin with. I mean, okay, these are academics, right? They're not just ordinary people that have no. Am I getting this right? They are academics that are saying this.
I think they're a student organization, probably an academic organization on the school because it's a.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have every reason to know her history then, right? I mean, that she's been around for over 20 years, that she's been publishing during that whole time, that she was criticizing feminism early in the 90s, that when Mary Koss came out with her numbers, one of the first people to write about them was Christina Hoff Sommers. Not, you know, that it wasn't men's rights organizations that spawned this woman, that she came, you know, somehow she came out of an organization. A Voice for Men's been around for less than 5 years, and it's been prominent in the movement, I think, for about 3. And suddenly, in that short time, this organization has like completely taken over her existence. Really, like suddenly she's irrelevant except for A Voice for Men. And they think that men's rights activists marginalize women. They take this academic, this person who has studied and published and written and analyzed and intellectually discussed for over 2 decades and reduce her to a minute association.
I can't wait till they take out Sapolsky, Robert Sapolsky, because he allowed us to republish one of his articles on A Voice for Men, right?
It's just everything that you do becomes irrelevant because you got MRA cooties. Gamergate cooties can make victims not victims, and MRA cooties can make academics, you know, their entire career no longer exists. What do they think? Paul Elam has a time machine that like he went back in time and made her what she is today? Because you know, being a woman, she can't have credit for what she did. Is that it, feminists?
It's his devil penis magic.
Oh yeah, it's the devil penis time machine.
Okay, what I wanted to point out is they don't just, I mean, look at what happened to Brianna Wu. She just said pro Gamergator was not, you know, the devil, and didn't attempt to tear off her head and, you know, poop down her throat during a coffee that she had with him. And now all of her former buddies, I don't know if they still are, but they jumped all over her and started to implicate, like, started to insult her work, and saying, oh, now we don't have to pretend to like her anymore. And it's like they're gonna do the least amount of being tainted. This is totally a, what is the word for it? It's like a ideological purity. The least amount of being tainted, and they're gonna jump all over you. And it's just a pretty consistent pattern. I don't know. I don't know why people give in to these people at this point, because it's so consistent. If
Sort of
you
like
step,
an eternal schism. Like lots of religions have points of contention, and this is one where all the lib fems and the rad fems and the different fems have got together and decided there's one kind of feminism they all can't stand, and it's factual feminism.
you know, and it's like, if you step out of line, I don't know why people try to appeal to social justice warriors, because there will seek out any opportunity to throw you under the bus, because that's their ultimate goal. You know, hating is their ultimate goal, and outrage is their ultimate goal. But I think we should move on to the next news item.
Yes, we should. Yes, we should. This is a little more positive story here. We got a petition to change Amazon Mom to Amazon Family. One dedicated stay-at-home dad has started a Change.org petition asking Amazon to change the name of its U.S. family-oriented discount subscription, Amazon Mom, to Amazon Family, as it appears in the UK. Quote, Amazon should embrace the fact that all parents, no matter their gender, are responsible for taking care of their kids, and they should show that they respect those families that don't have a mom just as much as those that do. Amazon already calls the program Amazon Family in other parts of the world. They should do the same thing here in the United States. This idea has been attributed to the now deceased blogger Orrin Miller, who tried to petition the company 2 years ago, stating that it reinforced stereotypes about his family, and that didn't ring true. Quote, it's not about a name, and it's not about me personally being offended. It's not about stupid emails and yoga classes. It's about a company that looks at the U.S., then looks at England, and decides that over there parent equals mom or dad, while here, well, we're not ready for that yet. Orrin Miller ran a popular blog about being a father and the issues that come with it, and many are trying to finish what he started. The petition currently has over 5,000 signatures, but it'll need another 4,000 to meet its goal. I think this is actually pretty cool that these guys are doing this, because they're trying to, change some stereotypes.
I just think it's very strange that there's like good news and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right?
The fact that it's being allowed to happen? What?
I don't know how to react to that. I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, no, it is. It really, really is. Like, and there, you sort of, we've gone from a situation where, like, someone put it this way to me when I think I was pregnant with my first child, and I was going into a public washroom in a restaurant, and there was a woman in there, and she was changing her toddler's diaper standing up on the bathroom floor. You know, like with the baby standing up. And I think the baby was like maybe 13, 14 months old, right? And she looks up at me and she says, "We live in a society that hates babies." Right? Because there was nowhere in the restaurant, nowhere in the entire mall at that time in 1991 where you could go and there would be a changing table, right? At least not in that town. And we've gone from being a society that hates babies to being a society that accommodates mothers with babies, and it's really nice to see that. See things like family change rooms, at the water park, where the entire family, both mother, father, and all the children, can go in and and get changed and into their bathing suits and go, right? It's really nice to see those kinds of things, and it's certainly nice for the like for dads when they do have that change table in the men's washroom, when there's a family washroom, or a family lounge outside the washroom where men are welcome to go in and change their kids and do all of that stuff, right? And that's happening more and more, and it's really nice to see.
Well, didn't we do a show a few months back where we talked about a campaign they were doing for kind of glorifying men who are fathers, which was a positive thing, that they were like talking about the real strength is, something to do with your baby, which is, good, but to me, it's a very, very good step, of course, but I can't help but I guess it's the cynic in me or the person who wants to see actual real change in full embracing of masculinity by the opposing side and by all of society, in the sense that we need to make single, bachelor, whatever, really male men to also be okay in society as well. Because the way they're celebrating men currently and allowing for men to be legitimate, so to speak, in the eyes of women is through fatherhood, is through commitment to marriage, family, that whole, producing more little babies that our planet can't handle at a certain point, which is pretty much now, and just a variety of other social things that are once again forcing men into a particular role in a particular box instead of appreciating sometimes perhaps the destructive side of men, because women have a destructive side too, and we're okay with glorifying bitches and like all those other things that women have reclaimed, the bad words about them that they're of course at the same time they're also trying to ban words like bossy, but there's also a big uprising in the strong female character, which usually just means someone who's sort of abusive, and that is usually seen as okay, but for men we're not allowing them anything other than complete supplication and complete bowing down to control, once again, of the head of the family, which is more often than not a woman. I mean, the fact that most advertising and everything else is aimed at women and their daughters, we know who controls the family, we know who controls the purse. It's always the woman. So I mean, obviously, I'm not speaking for every culture because I don't know what goes on in other parts of the world, and we can't see enough from television to even determine that. But from what I see in America and a variety of states I've lived in, et cetera, is that pretty much is the case. Men are only nominally in some very conservative places like Texas, where religion is still, those older religious ideas still dominate. Only there do you even see of men being given respect, at least on the surface. But in many liberal places, men are completely denigrated unless, well, if you do this one thing right, if you jump through this hoop right. And I mean, it is positive, but I also would like to see more improvement, I guess.
Yeah, there really does seem to be a huge trend in sort of disregarding dads in the United States overall. And it's whether they're married or whether they're single, it's like they just don't exist. And it's or if we do acknowledge them, it's critical, it's or ridiculing.
Yeah, their love for their children doesn't exist.
Yeah, and it's and you don't. It's hard to tell if it's all directed or focused, or if it's a lot of it's just sort of incidental following the high amount of criticism that various women have launched at them. But I kind of have to wonder what the Amazon thing says about the United States and fathers. I mean, has it become offensive to think of men as parents, or that we've quote learned unquote to dismiss them, or are we so gynocentric that we can't acknowledge all that dads do? Like suddenly, if we do that, we're taking away from moms. Is that it? Or is this single mom worship? There's a lot of stuff out there directed specifically to get the attention of and celebrate the single mother, and some of it's a backlash against the stigma that single moms used to have, but I think it's gone way overboard from the point of saying we don't need to shame people for being in that position, for choosing to be in that position. To now we've gotten to the point of you can't say anything that doesn't celebrate that position, or you're shaming people for being in that position. And I kind of wonder if that might have been part of the impact here, that political correctness in the United States has gotten to the point where it means erasing fathers to preserve the not the dignity, but the sensibilities, the tender sensibilities of single moms who feel stigmatized if everybody isn't praising them every moment of every day. And I also kind of wonder if Amazon thinks dads don't shop, because I see a lot of shopping among the dads that I know. They're the ones that get online and do the Christmas shopping online when there's stuff to buy on the internet. It's usually the men that I know that do that, not so much the women. They take to it faster. They learn the systems faster, and they're better at it. Not so much that women can't do it, but I think, and except for maybe in the younger generations, there's always been this, we go to the mall, we go to the stores, and we go in groups, and it's a social thing and all that, and the internet kind of takes away from that. And I think Amazon's really missing an opportunity here, because I think with the male shopper's tendency to be more focused, know what they want, not necessarily want to go stand around in the store as much, and go in and pick their thing out, research it a little bit, buy it, and not have to deal with all that crap. They should be targeting dads. It's really
Absolutely.
stupid that they're doing this.
Absolutely. I think that that given what men tend to be like, and it really is sort of that I just want to get it over with, as quickly as possible. So when men go to the mall to buy something, they go there, they know what they want, they go there, they get it, they get out. And women are much more likely to sort of, oh, well, those shoes look nice. That's why women's shoes are displayed in the windows. That's why women's clothes are displayed in the windows. You have this sort of attitude with men that the easier and less complicated it can be made, the more likely they are to actually do it. And women really do seem to, not me, but a lot of women really do seem to like the experience of discovering things in the clearance rack, and just sort of wandering the mall and looking at things and checking them out and buying something they didn't come for because it's there and they really liked it and they saw it. So yeah, I think Amazon really is missing an opportunity by marketing anything specifically only to women, unless it's something that's only for women, like, I don't know, maxi pads.
Rachel.
I agree. Oh, jeez. That mute button again.
Real quick, did you guys know that the pumpkin tampons, and the pads are like a real thing?
What now?
Like actual. I thought it was a joke. I reblogged it on my Tumblr because I thought it was a play on the basic bitchness. It had like a box of tampons, and it had like pumpkin as like the color flavor, whatever.
What?
Pumpkin spice. And it's
Flavor?
like a thing. You can. Well, I'm not flavor, I'm assuming, but
Then-
smell, I guess. But it's pumpkin spice for real.
Sanitary products in pumpkin spice flavor.
Yes. Yes.
Would you? No, wrong.
Yes.
Leave those alone.
It's the next flavor they're working on with their
Oh
yogurt.
God,
they gotta
guys.
They got to put an allergen into a sanitary napkin.
Okay, that just ain't right, because honestly, okay, the pads that use sphagnum, which is like a highly absorbent plant, and they're like the thinnest pads you can get, right? Those have a distinctive smell. It's not an unpleasant smell, but it's a distinctive smell. I don't really, if I don't have to have a pad that has a smell, I'd rather have a pad that had no smell. Like no.
Why would you want to put a
Pumpkin? Really? Pumpkin? That's not
it's
roses,
bad
not
enough.
daisies, not like fucking tulips, not, oh my goodness, English wallflowers. That would be nice. Because you can't believe how gorgeous those things smell.
Maybe we need to have a pile for the Christmas time, you know?
Guys, you're jumping all over Hannah.
It's already hard enough. You got to understand, I have to look for fragrance-free in everything. Laundry detergent, any kind of soap or shampoo, deodorant, everything. Fragrance-free. It's got to be fragrance-free. I should not have to look for fragrance-free for something that I don't care how you make it smell before it gets used. As soon as it starts soaking up blood, its blood is a it's a bodily fluid. It's got protein in it. It's got sugar in it. It's got bacteria. It's going to smell. I don't care what other scent you put it in there. It's still going to have the same goddamn smell when you get done. There's no point in putting an allergen in. And jeez.
Okay, my stomach is already getting turned.
Okay, guys, let's move on.
Snopes says it's false, so I might have jumped the gun on that one. But Snopes says it's false, so I'm sorry. Never mind.
Hopefully it is.
Not necessarily the best source on anything. Unless they have concrete proof when they say something is false, I have learned to take everything they say with a grain of salt. They're just a couple that Googles things very effectively. So they've labeled things false because they can't find the information on the internet that actually have turned out to be true. It's simply that the internet isn't where the information is that proves it.
Yeah, suppose another place does talk about that Tampax is considering launching that, so the internet's just gone crazy.
All right, guys.
Okay, guys, let's move on. Let's move on.
Subject.
Oh god.
Let's go. Next news item.
But by the way, before I go to the next item, that petition, you can find the link to that petition in the show notes if you're interested in, getting an Amazon Mom, its discount service, to change to Amazon Family. But going on, how to spot a misogynist. Oh God, this is terrible.
A misogynist? Did it give massages out?
Okay, Cherry.
Oh gosh, no, it's just wait.
Quiet.
A recent article in Psychology Today by Barrett. Oh god, I'm gonna murder this. Brogard states that people can easily identify misogynists through specific traits. She believes that misogyny is unconscious, meaning that people are somehow unaware of strong adverse emotions towards half the population. She speaks of misogyny as almost a weed taking over a garden. Actually, she actually almost calls it that. A behavioral problem creeping in during childhood and then bearing sexist fruit. She portrays misogynists as men who specifically target women for abuse and control. A good portion of these traits can be attributed to women or people who suffer from psychological problems associated with abuse. In fact, you can attribute almost all of these to people with personality disorders and other mental illnesses. But then there are some traits on this list that make no sense or are incredibly difficult to prove, like number 4 on the list, where it states that the misogynist will choose his male friends over spending time with his girlfriend. Or number 8, where she describes a man going out of his way to be the opposite of what the woman would prefer on a date. Quote, on a date, he will treat a woman the opposite of how she prefers. If she is an old-style lady who prefers a gentleman who holds the door for her, orders for both and pays for the meal, he will treat her like one of his male buddies, order for himself, and let her pay for the whole meal if she offers, and sometimes even if she doesn't. If she is a more independent type who prefers to order her own meal and pay for herself, he will rudely order for both and pay the check while she goes to the bathroom. Unquote. So basically, men cannot win in this scenario. If she assumes she wants a gentleman, he's a sexist. If he treats her like one of the guys, he's a sexist. Basically, a man would have to be a psychic to avoid doing this stuff, because much of it deals with knowing what the woman in question likes and doesn't like. Quote, women haters unconsciously get off on treating women badly. Every time they can put down a woman or hurt her feelings, they unconsciously feel good, because deep down in their hidden brain, their bad behavior is rewarded with a dose of the pleasure chemical dopamine, which makes them want to repeat the behavior again and again, unquote. Again, how would you know about the hidden brain of a misogynist, especially when you are describing men with a possible mental condition, or even someone who has the audacity to not know what his date is thinking or what his girlfriend wants in bed? I have to ask, who gave this woman a degree in neuroscience? Who gave her a doctorate? Because this is the worst kind of pseudoscientific dribble. And discuss. Oh my god.
Okay, all right. First of all, what they're saying is what if a man wants to actually be able to discern if a woman has the qualities that are appropriate for him? I mean, he will have to necessarily disappoint some women who he finds inappropriate. So that's misogyny now. And so a man having any standards whatsoever in his female partner could possibly cause her to feel discomfort should she fail to meet those standards. Therefore, he's a misogynist. I mean, this is like, I mean, when you read this stuff, this is, if you reversed the genders, this is a level of misogyny that you don't get until you get really deep into certain forums and foray and in, you know, groups, not groups, but just individual bloggers, like just really deeply into the web, into the dark web. No,
Oh,
just
God.
kidding. Yeah, but no, so it's like, and this is mainstream. They're allowing this woman to spew bullshit in the mainstream about how a man having any kind of criteria for his female partner might cause her some discomfort to fail it is a misogynist. Not just that, but if he fails to do to provide the kind of dating experiences that she wants, he's also a misogynist. Well, what about her failing to, like, in all of this, she has not considered the possibility that maybe he wants a particular dating experience. So does that make the woman who expects him to cater to her every whim an active and malicious misandress who gets a dopamine surge every time she disappoints, or otherwise, she expects a man to jump through a hoop and makes him feel upset and less of a man? Is that because he's this is just
yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it over and over again every time that word comes up. Misogyny, as feminists use it, doesn't mean what they say it does. They've taken the meaning out of it. It is nothing but feminist for blasphemy. It is their term for blasphemy in the Church of Feminism. And its use has nothing to do with whether or not the individual hates women, or even their expanded definition of all of the various not liking women, not trusting women, not catering to women. It is completely redesigned by them to become a bullwhip or a cattle prod they can use to shame men into catering their personal sensibilities. Act the way we want, talk the way we want. Put your interests, put your experiences below ours in importance, or if you don't, we'll call you a misogynist, and then you'll have to shut up. That's all that it is. It's blasphemy. You can't say that. You can't be that.
It reminds me of there was a short video, I think I saw it on Facebook, of I think it might have been an advert or a commercial or something. They took a little, I think it was a 7 or 8 year old girl out into public, and took several of the little boys that were passing, got to stand next to her and say, okay, now sort of pat her on the chest, and now stroke her shoulder, and now kiss her on the cheek, yeah, and now slap her. And every little boy without fail went, no, I'm not going to slap her. And I went, why? Well, because she's a girl, and we're not supposed to slap girls. And somebody wrote in the comments of that video on Facebook, well, this is all very sweet, but still this is a misogyny problem, and we have to address that deep down this is a result of misogyny in these boys. And my head's just sinking in my hands and sinking all the way through the desk. I mean, if you can see children saying that and doing that and saying, no, I'm not going to hit her because she's a girl, and all you can think is, well, these boys must hate girls, then there's nothing left in your conscience but this upside down world of yours. It just baffles me.
Well, they can twist anything into misogyny. They can twist anything into patriarchy. They can twist anything into the oppression, the systemic oppression of women. Every single thing. You know, like like literally in India, the law stipulates that if a man and a woman are unmarried and they have sex and he doesn't marry her, she can accuse him of rape, right? And the majority of those cases are resolved by the couple getting married, okay? Because that's what she wanted. That's why she accused him of rape. Is because she wanted him to marry her, right? Now, I won't even give it 10 years, not even 10, before feminists in India will be saying, as little as 10 years ago, women in India were being forced to marry their rapists. How misogynistic a society that was. When in reality, the only person being forced to do anything in that situation was the man.
Well, I would agree with that. The thing about this is it just gets so ridiculous. And I did see the video that Mike is talking about. It was actually Italian, and my boyfriend had sent it to me. But getting back onto the topic, the weird thing is how they start talking about how the seeds of misogyny get planted through slights in childhood when they're just a young boy, and it's a behavioral problem that if you don't correct it when they're young, that it's just gonna turn them into like terrible abusive predators that go and prey upon women and I mean, like, this is some kind of pervasive thing that just happens to everybody out there. It was just so ridiculous. But there's a couple of these I wouldn't mind summarizing. So the first one is, he will zero in on a woman and choose her as his target. Her natural defenses may be down because he's flirtatious, exciting, fun, and charismatic at first. 2, as time goes on, he will begin to reveal a Jekyll and Hyde personality. He may change quickly from irresistible to rude, and from rude back to irresistible. 3, he will make promises to women and often fail to keep them. With men, on the other hand, he will almost always keep his word. 4, he will be late for appointments and dates with women, but be quite punctual with men. 5, his behavior towards women in general is grandiose, cocky, controlling, and self-centered. 6, he is incredibly competitive, especially with women. If a woman does better than him socially or professionally, he feels terrible. If a man does better, he may have mixed feelings about it, but he is able to look at the situation objectively. 7, he will unknowingly treat women differently from men in the workplace and social settings, allowing men various liberties for which he will criticize female colleagues or friends. And this whole thing is, she believes that this whole thing is unconscious, that you're unconsciously hating women, that you don't know that you hate women.
Okay, I just have to close down shop now because we need to move over to Blog Talk. That's fine. It's egregious. If you guys want to continue to listen to us, you know, this is fly by the seat of our pants tonight, so that's gonna be very fun. But if you're listening to us right now, there is a link.
What if we're not wearing pants?
Yeah, I'm not wearing pants, any pants either.
Then the skin of your ass. Quiet. There's a link in the low bar. You can go there and click it to listen to the Blog Talk show. Do that right now. And if you want to call in, the number is 1-347-215-8746. That's 1-347-215-8746. We're going to close down this particular chat right now. Actually, before we do, I'll put that number up in the actual, if I can find it. Shh, quiet. Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. There we go. There's the number should be in that. Is it? No, it's not.
Wait, why don't we have the number?
We do have the number. I've been giving it to people, so I mean it's.
I mean on the video thing.
It should be on there. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, sorry. Let's do this again.
We have it now.
Yeah, it's always fun when you're trying something new.
Technology.
Yep. There we go.
There we are.
Okay, so right now I'm going to ask our host to just drop out and call into the blog talk. So if you're on the panel, hang up.
Oh.
Yeah, and call into the Skype. The number is once again 1347. I just blurred out 347-215-8746. That's 1-347-215-8746. Yeah, so give that a call, and if you want to watch us or listen to us further, go into the low bar and click that link to Blog Talk. It is in the low bar, and I'm going to be closing the show off shortly, so please do go over to Blog Talk and take a look. I can still see you guys lingering. It's like at 218. This is happening. You got to move over to Blog Talk, otherwise you're not going to listen to the rest of the show. So yeah, click that link. It's in the low bar. It says Blog Talk. Go there, and if you want to call in, the number is once again 1-346-217-8746. I gotta go now. So good luck. Mike, get over there. Hannah, get over there. Hannah. Okay, I'll just assume that Google's fucking around with you. All right, just me now. That number again, 1-346-215-8746. See you soon.